Afternoon and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center, Hestia Med Spa, and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Gene Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance their quality of life. And speaking of quality of life and entertainment and good wine, we have our very one and only Robert Reyes, owner of Reyes Winery on Main. How are you doing? It's good to see you again.
Thank you. Likewise, good to be back. And
Welcome, Robert.
thank you, Doctor.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Yes, cheers. I'd rather have a glass of wine to say cheers than a bottle of Gatorade, though. Any day.
Nothing
True,
personal.
Barbara.
Oh, no. That's sweet, yucky stuff for me. I can't stand it.
All right.
But
And
we
you're
give a
sweet
cheers
enough,
to
Doctor.
March. I mean, look at the weather we're having here.
Oh,
Isn't it
it's
great?
horrible. Absolutely horrible.
What's going on?
You
The weather.
hate it because it's so hot.
Oh,
the weather.
it's nice.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's winter. It's winter
But
time.
it's
It's supposed
85
to be
degrees
cold.
Oh, I'm a little confused. I think I like the...
You've had one too many.
Not yet. I'm trying to cut down.
Good luck.
All right. That's right.
So, what's been going on?
Well, I just got back in town from a short vacation. My wife and I went out to the Dominican Republic and spent a few days there.
Oh, that's right. I remember you said you were going.
Right, and it was lovely, and it's good to be back in the swing of things. And I see
Yes.
that we're doing things on Main Street. We have music coming up.
Swinging?
Yes, and that's this coming Sunday, and the following Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday, we'll have our membership pick up their wines here, their quarterly pickup, and we're going to have food for them, and some of them haven't been here yet, so it's a great opportunity for our members to come and enjoy the rooftop and have a glass of wine and some food, and we're looking forward to seeing all of them.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm interested in this coming Sunday,
Yes,
March 6th, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the rooftop.
correct.
We are going to have a delightful young lady entertaining us,
That is correct.
Melanie Martell.
Melanie Martell.
And she has a beautiful voice and can play a fantastic guitar. She's just delightful.
Yes.
I've
And,
heard her many times.
I've heard her music. I have not met her personally, but I've heard her music, and she's great. And she was recommended by some great friends.
Yes, I know who they are.
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Paloki are good
Yes.
friends, and love them. They're lovely people, and yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it also. I really am, because it's going to be 2 hours of delightful entertainment.
I think so.
I really do, and hopefully you will have her back.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure.
And we're going to be on the rooftop.
On the rooftop,
Woohoo!
and it's going to be warm, Barbara.
Oh, is it?
No, I think this weekend is going to be
It's
perfect.
going to be, yes. Well, I know that we're getting some cold weather coming.
That's right. So these couple of
But-
days are a little
but
bit
you
on the
know-
warm side, but the weekend should be perfect.
Yes, but if it does get cold up there, you have those fantastic standing heaters.
That's
Which
right.
really save your life, I tell
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Because it can be very cold on that rooftop
Right.
at certain times.
Right, and the one thing we're going to be doing pretty soon also is we're going to be putting up see-through screens for the wind. Sometimes it gets a little windy.
Yes.
And so we're going to be putting up those panels that
That's-
we won't
yeah.
lose the view. So
That's
it'll be
great
see-through,
idea.
and
Because the view is beautiful
Yes.
from the top. It
Right.
really is. Especially with all the lights along Main Street.
yes, yes.
And
I'm glad those
hopefully
lights are still on.
I know. I hope they keep them up.
I hope so,
really
too.
hope they do, because it really enhances the look of Main Street,
Absolutely.
especially in the evening.
Absolutely. You drive into Main Street and you see those lights are on, and it kind of gives you that warm
It
happy
does,
feeling,
yes.
doesn't it?
And an enticing feeling.
That's right.
Makes you want to walk along there.
You bet.
And of course, different people going to different places because we're beginning to get more wineries on Main Street
Yes.
and more restaurants.
That's right.
And I think the city of Santa Clarita has done a great job with Main Street.
They have.
They really have. And I enjoy it. I really do.
Yes.
Yes. Especially when I can stop in at Reyes Winery on Main.
That's right. That's right. And there will be new places that'll be serving Gatorade for those of you that may
Thank
prefer
you.
that.
I appreciate.
I
that.
always have you in mind,
Powerade.
Dr. Dorio,
I'll take Powerade too if necessary. Robert, so.
as a last resort.
Yeah,
Huh?
what about our seniors? Let's talk a little bit about our seniors who have been at home for a year and a half, 2 years now, wanting to get out, and they're trying, but they're still a little bit worried about exposure, and many of my seniors tell me they're gonna continue to wear their masks, but this is a good opportunity to get back out and see what life is here in Santa Clarita. Like Barb was saying, Main Street is just the perfect example of a place that is lit up. It's not so much Christmas time, is it? It's more just lighting up the world for us to see again that we haven't seen in a while. We've been masked up and kind of clinging to our homes, but now this is a time for everyone to get out. And I think opportunities for our seniors at Reyes Wineries is the perfect place, even though maybe there at the bottom Gatorade will be, but we still want them to enjoy themselves once again in our community. So tell us how our seniors can do that, Robert.
That's right, and I couldn't have said it better. Thank you. Yes, we are, especially our rooftop is open, so there's no need to worry about having to wear a mask in confined spaces. So that area is fully open, and it's enjoyable. We are now going to be installing our sun screens because it's getting a little warmer, but it's lovely up there, and need not worry about proximity to others. There's plenty of space, and it's just wonderful. So we welcome seniors and anybody on wheelchairs, whatever. We have elevators that are large enough to bring people up there.
Absolutely.
And,
Wheelchairs and all.
Absolutely. We want to accommodate everyone, so welcome everyone.
And that's a beautiful place to congregate. It really is. I've been up there several times.
If we can talk about the menu again, we don't have protein drinks and Ensure and Gatorade, but we do, have an exquisite amount, not of just wines, but also selection. Is that correct?
I don't know about Ensure.
You do have lemonade.
Of course, we have soft drinks.
Yes.
Yes. In fact, we also have beer, but I don't tell
But
everybody.
how about entrees? Robert, some of the things that would entice everyone, not just our seniors.
Oh, absolutely. We have a number of different tapas, and a group can order different tapas or any charcuterie plates, cheese plates, things like that for smaller bites. We also have full dinners. We can serve the full menu up on the rooftop as well, with some exceptions. On Saturday nights, for instance, where it gets really busy, we may cut off, full service of foods up there, with the exception of tapas that are maybe easier to make in the kitchen. So because we ran into some bottlenecks at certain hours when it's completely busy and the place is completely full. Then we cut down to tapas for a couple of hours up on the rooftop to serve the main dining room downstairs. But otherwise, we serve the full menu.
What are tapas?
They are hors d'oeuvres.
Oh.
Yes.
They're not charcuterie, whatever it is.
No, not just the charcuterie.
Charcuterie bowl.
Not just that, but
that plate is enormous.
ah,
My goodness, my daughter and I came in there, and we
Yes.
ordered a charcuterie
plate.
but-
Yes. Uh-huh.
plate, and we also ordered. I think it was salmon,
Okay.
a salmon meal,
Yes.
and we started eating the charcuterie stuff. And good heavens,
Mm-hmm.
it is so big. There's so much food on it.
Ah,
It
okay.
makes a meal.
Yes.
Just about makes a
it,
meal.
It could.
Whoa.
Well, I hope you took some home.
Oh, I did.
Oh, good.
Both
Good for
of us
you.
did.
Good for you. Yes.
But it was
So,
delicious.
so Barbara, what is your favorite plate, your favorite entree at Reyes Winery?
Well, I like the charcuterie plate.
Charcuterie, yeah.
Yes, because there's a variety of items
Variety.
on it.
Right. You also
And-
mentioned the salmon. I think you like
Well,
the
the salmon was outstanding, yes.
Yes.
But that's a meal, a salmon meal.
Yes, that is a meal.
You know, and that's what we ended up taking most of it home.
Yes, yes. You know, we also have vegan plates. You know,
Yes.
we have sandwiches and salads and such. So we also have the burger, the vegan burger as well. So we have several vegan or vegetarian dishes
Yeah,
on the menu.
The food is very good.
All right, thank
It
you.
really is. It's very good. And I definitely suggest that if you're walking along Main Street and you want to stop and have something to eat, go to Reyes Winery on Main.
Or just for a glass of wine.
Just for a glass of wine, yes.
Sure.
Red wine for seniors,
Okay.
yes.
If you recommend it,
Well,
I
yes.
agree.
And I'm usually not a red wine drinker
All right.
because the red wine that I've had has been a cheaper kind.
I see.
And it's given me a violent headache.
Ah.
That's what first turned me off red wine.
I see.
But since I've been purchasing more expensive wine, and I opened a bottle of your red wine, and it was
Okay.
delightful. Oh my goodness, I have to watch myself.
Oh, I'm so
You
glad
know?
to hear.
I usually have one glass of wine with dinner, and that's it.
I
you
see.
know, if I have more than that, then whoops.
Yes. So you must have had two. Doesn't make you a bad person.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And as long as I'm at home, I'm fine.
Yes.
As long as I'm
Don't-
at home,
don't go
that's
out
fine.
driving for sure.
No, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I'll have to do that on Sunday
Yes.
because we're coming up for the entertainment.
Yes. Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
and probably stay and eat dinner. Will you be serving dinner from 3 to 5 or after 5?
After 5.
After 5.
But there's tapas. There's always something that you can
yes,
order.
always something that we
You know.
can eat.
Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's good.
Yes.
Just stuff myself
But,
first
Robert,
before I have a
every
glass of
time
wine.
Every time you're on, I always want to bring up the actual winery in Agua Dulce.
Yes.
And how what a beautiful place that is. And, 85 degrees is, I don't think that's hot enough for, cultivation of great grapes, but we're going to get there, and
Yes.
you're going to be cultivating them out there. But, the wine grown for Reyes Winery is close by. It's not like we're getting it from France or from Napa. It's
Correct.
here in Santa Clarita. And, people certainly can enjoy the tapas and the salmon on Main Street. But, close by is the actual winery
Correct.
in Agua Dulce. And people just should remember the fact the origin of your grapes is there.
That is
And,
that is correct. Yes, we grow 5 varietals there at the vineyard, and the tasting room there is open on weekends from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And of course, in the summertime when we have longer days, people hang out after 5, and we're
Oh,
okay with
yes.
that.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So yes, and so we do tastings, and it's 7 different wines per person to do a tasting, and then they can buy bottles of wine and even consume some there as well. So, yeah, it's a great space. It's out in the open, looking at the vineyard and the mountains. It's a beautiful sight.
It really is. I've been there several times.
Yes.
It's very,
so,
very pretty.
So people love it there, and our members love it there, and especially on the 12 and 13, even though we're going to be serving lunch here for our members, some of them are going to go there as well
I'm sure.
to pick up their wines and so on. So, yes. So we're open every weekend from 11 to 5.
You know, the other thing you might want to consider in the future, at least with our senior center, we had trips and tours. And, I think, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of our older adults are trying to get out there a little bit more than they have done in the past. But
Right.
one of the considerations might be that from our senior center, once we start to utilize our buses again, maybe they can take a short trip over to Reyes Winery out in Agua Dulce and enjoy a wine tasting possibility as well. And,
Oh, absolutely.
so something else to think about for our seniors that they might want to be involved in as they come out of their cocoons and try to re-assimilate it back into Santa Clarita and Agua Dulce.
That's a wonderful idea, Gene.
Absolutely. Great
that
idea.
really is.
And I would love to be there to give them a tour. At least on the first group
Yes.
of people who come up, that would be.
Ah,
Or I mean,
that's
I'd do it
very
every time
interesting.
if I'm there. But I would love to have the bus come up with some people, and I would love to show them around, show them the winery, talk about the vineyard, the history of the place, and all of that.
That would be very interesting.
right.
Absolutely. Gene, can Robin talk with Kevin about it?
Oh, yeah, I'll work on that. I will definitely put the word in, and, as we try to remobilize again, trips and tours will open up the senior center. I think, I don't think it was in the newspaper today or anywhere.
I didn't
online,
see it.
but I believe a lot of their activities will be starting to open up. So trips and tours will be just one of those things where we can not only venture into the senior center, we can venture out into the community to just, like I said earlier, get out of our cocoon. That's what we need. That's what we need to do.
That'd be
And
great.
it'll be cheers for everybody.
I'm sure.
Well, that would be a wonderful trip for seniors. It really would.
Yes, absolutely.
Because so many seniors do like a glass of wine.
Sure.
They really do.
Right. And then,
Much more than liquor,
of course,
you
and
know,
sure,
or beer.
right. And being driven there
Yes.
and back is a great thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, Gene, work on it.
All right.
I think that's a great
I'll
idea.
I'll take it up with them and give that a shot. We'll see where they are on that. I think it's been baby steps for our seniors trying
Right.
to get back out, but of course with the regulations and the rules,
Yes.
LA County has slowly moved in a direction where I think the requirements will be markedly lessened, and they might return. That's always a possibility. We might have to be isolated in a way and wear a mask again, depending on the variants that might be out there. But, we're learning how to live with this and cope with it better and psychologically, feel better about what we can do and where we can go and how we can live life again. So
Right.
This will be just one of the ways that we try to incorporate our seniors into this and get them truly involved. And like I say, another cheers for everyone.
Right.
Absolutely.
Wanted to mention that we serve wine outside also there.
Yes.
So for those that have a concern about confined spaces, yes, we are serving outside.
And that's a lovely little area
Oh,
out
yes.
there. It really is.
Yes.
Because you have those covers.
We do.
Yes.
We do have a tent
Yes,
and tables out there.
Right.
And it's great. It's out in the open.
it is.
Yes.
So let's talk about Reyes on Main Street. What
Yes.
is your address here and your telephone number?
It's the address on Main is 24329 Main Street.
Yes.
And the phone number is 621-7777. And that is 621-7777.
Fantastic. Robert, this was a lovely afternoon. It used to be 11 to 12. Now it's 12 to 1.
Right.
I'm so used to saying good morning, but now it's afternoon.
Always a pleasure
Thank
to be
you so
here.
much for coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Robert. Appreciate
you,
it. We'll
Doctor.
Yes.
put these ideas together so that as we open up the seniors and Reyes Winery will flourish as well.
Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing seniors up at the
Oh.
Reyes Winery, not just on Main Street, but also out in Agua Dulce at
Yes.
the Vineyard.
Yes. Thanks again, Robert. It was delightful
you,
having
Robert.
you here.
My pleasure.
Wonderful. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
It's murder, mystery, and mayhem at the Canyon Theater Guild. Usher in the new year with laughter and mystery at the hilarious comedy Whodunit, Clue on Stage. Was it Miss Scarlet in the kitchen with the wrench? Perhaps it was Mr. Green in the billiard room with the rope. Only one way to find out. Based on the popular board game and adapted from the cult classic film, Clue on Stage will keep audiences guessing and laughing to the very end. Get your tickets by calling 661-799-2702 or online at canyontheater.org.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to Mend, M-E-N-D, cryotherapy.com on Newhall Ranch Road in the Gateway Shopping Center.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
SCVI is a tuition-free TK through 12 charter school that gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely. We offer a customized learning program built around your child's unique interests and strengths, with the only International Baccalaureate program in all of Santa Clarita. Our approach keeps students and families in step no matter where your learning is taking place. Be empowered to make your mark on the world at SCVI. To take a tour or enroll now in our one-of-a-kind program, visit ileadsantaclarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now is Adam Laraway from Focus Physical Therapy. How are you again?
I'm doing good. How
It
about
seems
you guys?
like we just saw you yesterday.
I know, right?
Where does the time go?
Time flies.
Oh, my goodness, it flies right
Welcome.
by.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, what's on
You know-
the agenda for this afternoon?
Well, we've been helping a lot of people and just trying to keep helping them get better and make sure we avoid any injuries. So we're keeping super busy.
That's the critical thing.
Yep.
avoiding injuries,
Exactly.
especially for our seniors.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of preventative stuff that you can do, and a lot of that has to do with balance. That's probably the biggest thing. And so,
You're right.
we always do a lot of education on balance because we've got 3 systems that we use to balance. And unfortunately, as we get older, all 3 systems get affected. So,
Tell me about it. Oh.
So, but there's things that we can do in physical therapy to try and challenge those systems and make them better, and we see a lot of improvements with
Great.
that, which is a lot of fun.
Now, what is the main area where seniors are involved, where you have them come and see you? What is the major reason?
There's a lot of reasons, to be honest with you. I mean, because obviously, as our seniors, they're more active now, which is fabulous. That's what we need to do. That kind of old adage of use it or lose it is so true. You have to keep moving. But because of that, we see everything. I have a gentleman that I was working with that's 82, and he's playing softball. And that was fabulous.
Yes.
But
That's great.
he was also having a shoulder problem, so he needed some help with that shoulder to kind of loosen things up. So I mean, we see to be honest, a little bit of everything: knees and shoulders and hips, low back, neck. Kind of all over. Everybody's a little bit different. The ones we really worry about, obviously, are the ones that their balance is getting really bad and they're starting to fall and that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So those are definitely the most. I guess crucial for getting into therapy so that we can prevent those falls, because unfortunately, you fall, you break a hip, you end up in the hospital. Next thing you know, you got a pneumonia, and it's not a good result. So,
Yes.
we're kind of all over the map, and we see pretty wide range of issues. I'm kind of thinking about my current caseload right now, and I got a little bit of everything. I've got a couple hip patients. We see a lot of hip bursitis, and I think some of that kind of stems from if you start to get muscles that are weak. You're still able to walk.
What is hip bursitis?
So hip bursitis, there's a bursa that's on the outside of the hip, and it's bursa is kind of like a sac of fluid that's normally just kind of filled with, I think of it like a little balloon, so to speak. And we have bursa all over our body. Their job is to kind of protect tendons from bony prominences. And so when that bursa gets inflamed, it gets irritated, it fills up with more fluid, and now we've got more tension on that pulley system for the tendon. And so it can be really painful, really irritated. And so for hip bursitis, a lot of times you feel it when you're walking, especially when you lay on your side and to go to sleep, and so you can't tolerate that pressure on the hip, and so it makes it difficult to sleep if you're a side sleeper. And it's usually really tender to the touch. So a lot of times the doctors will do like a cortisone injection to try and stimulate some anti-inflammatory response. And then we use different things in therapy with the newbie, and we use tools called instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization, where we kind of like a scraping to help kind of flush that fluid out of there. We use ultrasound sometimes, so different treatment modalities based on what we're trying to fix. But generally, I feel that problem occurs because usually it's because something's weak or too tight or something like that, and then that's kind of the result. That's kind of the compensation.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we see a lot of hip bursitis in older people.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I think for me, balance is my biggest problem.
Yep.
It really is.
Yep.
And I think I've said this before. I've been so tempted to get one of those easy chairs that you can push a button and it'll tip you up so you can stand up and go.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wait a minute. That doesn't help me.
Right. That's going to make it worse.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
I have to use my arms and push myself up so that I'm using my core.
Yep.
And get myself up.
Absolutely. Using your core and your glutes
Yes,
and your hamstrings and your quads.
stand up before I do anything else.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's important. I mean, that's one of the things that, too, we get a lot of questions about. People come in and they're like, I want to get down on the floor with my grandkids, but I can't get up. They just don't have the strength. And unfortunately, when you get down on the floor, if you can't use your arms, say, to pull up from some stable object, a table or something, your muscles are in a position where they're not the best to contract. And that's why it's hard to get off. Like if you get the momentum going, you can kind of get into that, and then the muscle gets into that optimal position, and then you can get up.
Right.
But it's that initial lift off that is really, really hard.
Yeah, and I'm finding it harder when I'm on the floor for any reason at all.
Absolutely.
To get myself up.
Yep. Yeah, because
And
those
I
muscles
guess
are not in a good position.
That's right, and that I'm sure is due to age.
Yep. Well,
as
due
you
to
get
strength
older?
more than usually. It's usually due to strength. Yeah, strength and sometimes flexibility. If you're not able to get your knee up in that position to push up and get up through there.
I have to hold on to something
Yeah.
to push myself up.
Yep, exactly.
It's very frustrating because
Yep.
I used to just get on the floor and go, whoops,
Yep.
get up, right up
Absolutely.
with no problems at all. And I'm
Yep.
thinking, wait a minute.
Yep. So we have in the clinic we have a big mat table that's pretty wide, and so if that's something we need to work on, we can put you on that table, and so you sit down on the table, and then we put a chair in the middle of the table. It's big enough so that you can actually then practice, say, getting up to a chair from that position, and you don't have to be on the floor because you're on the mat. So sometimes we'll problem solve that and figure out, okay, well, where's the deficit? Where's the problem? Is it because you can't get your hip into that kind of staggered position, or is it because you don't have the strength to do the lift off? So that's where we get kind of problem solve with the patient.
Interesting.
And, we had them in the past. We've talked about core strength, and that's an important aspect of our balance and preventing falls.
Absolutely.
But I noticed, as Barb had said, trying to stand up, and I noticed that one day, and I have good core strength. So I thought I got to add to that, and I started doing my own therapy of improving my, especially my quadriceps.
Yep.
And those muscles that allowed me to get up. And I'll tell you, just through simple exercise, you were talking about preventiveness.
Yeah.
The simple exercise, I have good core, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
But strengthening my quadriceps made a difference in me being able to get up. So there's a whole lot of aspects of preventiveness. And one of the questions is how do caregivers and family members start to recognize when somebody's having problems prior to that first fall?
Right.
What can people start to look at and say, hey, I think my loved one needs some therapy?
Yeah. Well, definitely looking simple things like getting up and down from a chair, or like a booth in a restaurant or something like that. If they're having trouble and they need a hand to get up, that means that their strength is definitely starting to get a little lax. The other thing that's a big one that I noticed, that as your balance and some of your strength starts to get a little bit less, generally your step length starts to get less, and so people start to shuffle. So I have a gentleman right now I'm working with, and he's getting stronger, but he's still in that pattern of he just takes these steps where he's not even clearing his whole step length. And so we've been working on trying to get a longer stride, a longer step length, because that will help with his efficiency, so he's not as tired, but then also will help with that balance. But typically when we walk, generally your brain is just kind of scanning 20, 30 feet in ahead. But then when you're worried about balance, what do? You're looking right below you, and you're not looking at what's coming ahead.
Yep.
And,
That's
so those are other
exactly
things.
right.
If you notice that, people are walking with their head down, they're really looking for that crack in front of them, but they really need to be anticipating what's 5 feet in front of them.
That's right. I know,
So-
because I walk around my block,
Yeah.
and it's uphill a lot.
Yeah.
And then straightens out, then downhill, then uphill again.
Uh-huh.
And I find myself sometimes getting a little whoops.
Yep.
Whoops. Watch where you're going, Barbara.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary. It
Yeah.
really is.
Absolutely. Well,
And you're right. You have to look ahead.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yep. And the surface makes a big difference. Like, if you're walking, say, down the sidewalk and you've got the driveway cutouts, all of a sudden the angle changes. So that's an uneven
yes,
surface.
It does.
And your brain calculates all that. It's sending signals down to your feet that detect that and back up. And then so if you're, walking on uneven surfaces, gravel, grass, you go out to water the yard in the afternoon. If you're on that uneven surface and you don't have the strength to catch your balance, yeah, you could definitely fall.
Well, it's interesting because I go outside and put bird food in the bird feeders in the front yard and in the back.
Yep.
And I have to. My son put in rails.
Yeah.
In on my front porch so that I can use those.
Yep.
And I have to use them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, walking down those steps, it's a balance system. And if I
Absolutely.
hold on to that rail, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But then walking from the concrete onto the grass,
Yep.
that's an entirely different
Absolutely.
matter.
because
Oh, my goodness.
yeah, you lost the input from your hands, which
Yes.
your brain was using.
Yes.
You know, and that's where, you know, sometimes we'll recommend people use a cane because, you know, as much as a cane is a hassle, it basically gives your other arm that's using the cane another point of reference as you're walking, and that's why it helps your balance. And from a
that's very true.
safety aspect, that's really, really important, you know.
Yeah.
So canes are not necessarily a bad thing, and although sometimes they're a little frustrating to use, but they help your balance a lot.
No, I still have my husband's cane.
Yeah.
I'm not getting rid of it.
Yep. Yep.
Not only for sentimental reasons, but
Yeah.
in the future,
Yep.
I may have to use it.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And then,
I-
you know, going the wrong way, you know, going to more assistance, but, you know, that's what a walker is that it's giving you basically a surface that you can have both hands on, giving your brain more input for your balance.
That's right.
You know, and so ideally, obviously, in physical therapy, we're trying to get rid of those assistive devices. But, you know, from a safety aspect, we really have to evaluate what's going to be the safest for that person, because the last thing we want them to do is to fall. And we need to know that they've got that device to help them safely until they can demonstrate they've got enough strength and balance that they can then go back away to like a cane and then to nothing.
That's right.
Adam, doesn't vanity sometimes play a role in some of this as well, where people don't want to use a cane, they don't want to use a walker, just like a big hearing aid. They don't want a big hearing aid.
Right.
They don't want to be seen as being weak.
Absolutely.
Especially guys, hate to say it, but you know, I've found that with my patients. And then they fall.
Yep.
And so, not that we have to convince them, but I think to a certain degree, we have to be able to explain the consequences of not being in good balance and
Right.
protecting their gait, but also their quality of life. How often do you see where people are saying, I don't want to use a cane or I don't want to use a walker?
Yep. I do see that quite a bit because, like you say, I think it's probably, you know, more the psychological aspect of kind of relinquishing some control that, hey, I got some issues here that I need assistance with, but I don't want to acknowledge that. I do see the other flip side of that where people totally embrace it and they get these fancy canes which maybe are not the most functional, that have, you know, different designs and carvings and that type of stuff. And so sometimes I got to be like, this is more fit than function, you know. This is more so
More
but
for show.
yeah, but I do see, Dr. Daria, kind of what you're saying, where more often than not people don't want to admit that they need that assistance, and so they'll just kind of wing it, you know. They'll wall walk.
Yep.
And they'll, you know, okay, I can get there. Oh, I made it, you know. And it's like, if you're thinking I made it, there's an issue. There's a problem, because, you know, sometimes those parking lots are big, and, you know, people think, oh, if I can just get a shopping cart, you know, or I'll park next to where there's an empty shopping cart and I can use that, and then it's a compensation. They're using that.
Oh, yes,
Yep,
it
yep.
is.
So
It is.
yeah, you know, ultimately safety is the most important, because exactly, you just don't know what's going to happen when somebody falls, and you know, you just got to prevent those circumstances as much as possible.
Yeah, well,
And far too often, it's too late.
Yeah, exactly.
When they realize that they, you know, should have been using something to help them move along. And, you know, I just think, you know, I'm a proponent of masks because, you know, I know masks have made a big difference, but, you know, maybe, and for some kids, it became popular to have a mask with some animated character on it. But maybe we should make it worthy to have a cane, Barbara, like a fancy cane that one can use, or even a walker that's spiffed up. That maybe might not be jet propulsed, but, you know, could be something that's worthy and, you know, doesn't stigmatize people.
Right.
I don't know. You know, it's just a part of life that, you know, when you don't do it, it not just becomes a burden, but I tell you, it's a detriment, because people get hurt and end up in the hospital and sometimes a nursing home.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, it's something else that's very interesting too. I see quite a few people walking around with walkers.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest problem with that is when you're walking with your walker, you're leaning over, you're almost part of a circle as you're walking. And I'm thinking, why don't you get a walker that you can stand up and hold And they have them now.
They are starting to make those, yeah.
They really do.
Yep.
And in fact, Carl Goldman has one.
Mm-hmm.
And because we saw him a couple of weeks ago at a function outside, and he was standing completely upright.
Yep.
And people who need walkers need to get something like that.
Absolutely.
Either that or pull the handles up as far as you can.
Yep.
So that you're standing upright, because there's nothing worse for your body than having it over in an arc
Right.
and leaning down.
Yeah, we actually do, like if somebody comes in with a walker at their evaluation and it's not at the right height, we will make the adjustments. And there are little tricks we use, like if you drop your hand to your side, the edge of the joint of your wrist should be basically where the handle is. And so when you put your hand up on there, your elbow should be about 30 degrees bent. That's the appropriate height. Where you're seeing the problem is exactly what we have to advise people a lot, because they tend to get the walker out in front of them, which then puts them in that forward flexed position.
That's right.
The walker's really designed for you to be up in the walker so that you are upright, but most people don't use it that way. And then the problem with it is you start to get it in front of you, and especially if it's let's say a four-wheeled walker or it's got a front-wheeled walker, if they get too far ahead of them, they can actually lose control of it because it's rolling and they're essentially pushing it rather than using it for balance. And so that's one of the things we have to work with patients on, educating them, like, it's not really for pushing. You're supposed to be, using it with your up in there, so it's helping your base of support.
So that you're helping, it's
Exactly.
helping you walk upright.
Yep, exactly.
Upright.
Exactly.
Instead of leaning over, because you have a greater tendency to fall when you're leaning over.
Yep. Plus, it's going to cause some shoulder issues, cause some neck issues, because now instead of, looking straight forward, you're bent over, which means you're essentially looking up, and you're compressing all those joints in your spine, and eventually you're going to have some neck pain.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
And we need to take a little break, don't we? Yes. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to MEND, cryotherapy.com on Newhall Ranch Road in the Gateway Shopping Center.
Have you heard that you can attend college tuition-free for your first 2 years?
The Canyons Promise program at College of the Canyons can make that happen.
First-time, full-time students for the upcoming fall are encouraged to sign up now for Canyons Promise.
Benefits include paid enrollment fees, access to program counselors, priority registration, and more.
Attend COC tuition-free.
Visit canyons.edu/promise now for information and important deadlines.
Canyons.edu/promise.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
We salute our veterans who sacrifice for our freedom. Every week, we share an inspirational story of a local veteran on our Hometown Heroes page at hometownstation.com, thanks to our good friends at Eternal Valley.
I'm Richard Nunnally, General Manager of Eternal Valley Memorial Park and Mortuary. We believe taking care of each other is what community is all about. We're proud to bring you the stories of our hometown heroes.
Eternal Valley, life well celebrated.
Visit hometownstation.com, sponsored by Eternal Valley.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we're speaking with Adam Laraway of Focus Physical Therapy. And we just heard an ad.
Yep.
Your ad on KHTS talking about the newbie.
Yep.
Now, what is the newbie? I know we've talked about it.
Yep. So the newbie is it's a new piece of technology. It was approved in September of 2017 by the FDA. It's direct current stimulation. So a lot of people have heard of like a TENS unit or an interferential unit. All of those are alternating currents. What makes the newbie different is it's direct current. And so what it allows us to do is a few things. We use it actually quite a few different ways. But for pain, it allows us to map the neurological system. So we hook the patient up, we put a pad on them, and then we have another pad that has a sponge that's wet, and we literally drag it on the skin. And the direct current simulates what your nervous system's doing. So say you had a shoulder problem, and so I'm mapping your shoulder and down your arm and all that type of stuff. And wherever your brain is sending a signal, when the sponge gets over that spot, the intensity of the current will go way up. And because it's duplicating that signal, that where the problem is. And so what's really interesting is, as I've been using this for the last 2.5, 3 years, is that sometimes where the pain isn't necessarily where the problem is. And so what we do is we find a spot. So say I was mapping a shoulder, and then I put a pad, we find it's in your biceps. So we put a pad on the biceps, and then we do some changes in the settings, and we remap again, and we find the connection to that first point. And once we find that connection, we put the pads, and then we take you through movement patterns, which is really kind of cool because it's very simplistic movement patterns. And what happens is it basically re-educates the brain to shut off the protective mechanism that's causing the pain. So for somebody who has a shoulder pain, they may not be able to lift their arm because it hurts too much.
Right.
And so once we've found the spots that are causing the problem, then the neuro re-education occurs, and all of a sudden, sometimes miraculous. I mean, I've had patients literally come in not being able to lift their arm, and by the end of the session, they're lifting it all the way up. And we didn't, I didn't change anything strength-wise in that shorter period of time, but what we did is we shut off the inhibitory response from the brain, because the brain is what's protecting that. And so,
did you use that on the 82-year-old softball player?
I did, and we got drastic improvements. Yeah, we got drastic improvements in his shoulder, like right away. So then once we get the pain resolved, then we change some of the settings in the newbie, and we can then actually work on strength with the different frequency. And it's really cool, again, because, for somebody who's got an arthritic joint or something like that, they're not going to want to carry a big heavy weight. But when I change the setting with the electricity on, I can basically replicate a max workout, with their max amount of weight without putting any load on the joints. And so then we can work that and really speed up that healing process and that strengthening process without putting any extra pressure on the joints, which is really, really cool.
Wow. Would it help on hip bursitis?
It does help on hip bursitis. We use it quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good,
So we'll map.
Yeah.
So we have
You brought these up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We had a gentleman, actually. He's probably in his 70s, and he's been to about 4 other PT clinics. Has not had any results. He's been dealing with this hip bursitis for about 3 years, and has had injections, and just nothing's helping him. And he's pretty active person. And rides his bike and that type of stuff. And so anyways, he came in to see what the newbie was about and see if we could help. And we actually just saw him yesterday, and his pain level now is down to a 1 out of 10. He's on his bike. Wow. He's feeling good. He's actually able to sleep on his side for the first time in 3 years. And so again, we would, for him, we would map kind of your stomach and your back and your hip and then your quads, your hamstrings, kind of lower leg, and we find the spots, and then we go through those movement patterns. It's really cool.
How interesting.
Great, Adam. Great information. I tell you, people need to understand the role that physical therapists play in their lives.
Yeah.
And I think they only, when they then end up having problems, then that's when they're introduced to them. But it should be much earlier. Adam, so where are you located, and if you can give some contact information to our listeners?
Absolutely. We are at 25050 Peachland Avenue, Suite 205. We're right above Valencia Pharmacy off of Lyons. And our phone number is 661-255-4205. And our website is www.focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
Wow, Adam, super information today, I tell you, and gives a lot of our seniors hope and caregivers hope that they can stay out of trouble, but also should they have some problems, it can be mastered and helped in some way possible. Thank you, Adam, for all you're doing for our seniors in the community. We certainly appreciate it. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care, Providence Holy Cross Medical Center, and Hestia Med Spa. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.